Good evening, friends. It is 8:01 p.m. I'm Thankam Gumes, your host for Cygnia Conversations. I'm very happy that God has blessed this opportunity to bring nursing veterans to you with their personal stories. Today is the third story and very influential one, and I can see that we already have 110 people logged in. That kind of talks about Captain Dr. Usha Banerjee's popularity. I'm very honored that Dr. Usha has agreed to be on this platform talking to me and to all of you. So I would first say a very, very warm welcome to Captain Dr. Usha Banerjee. I will request you to put on your video.
Namaste, everybody. Thank you, Tangam. Thank you so much. No prefix can change who I am and what I am for you. So it's Usha, as usual. Thank you. And at the outset, thanks to everyone who's logged in here on a festive evening, Saturday late evening, and listen to my story. So thank you for making this happen.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again. Before we start, speaking to Usha, I would request all of you to stay muted so that the proceedings can go uninterrupted. And before we start the session, we will start with the prayer song. Is that okay, Usha?
Yeah, please.
One second. I'll have to check if my audio was put on. Yeah. Okay.
ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, तूफान से ही तो लड़ने खुदा ने तुझे गढ़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, दुर्गम को पार करके हिमालय कोई चढ़ाए, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, होगा विशाल तरवर वो बीज जो पड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। वो सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, वो सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, हर काम उसके रहते हरगिज़ हुआ पड़ा है। कभी हारना ना, हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ, कभी हारना ना, हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाने वो सामने खड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है।
Tangam, you're on mute.
Every time this is what happens. If I mute myself, I will forget to unmute. Yeah. So I was telling that we have a record breaking number of 160 logged in. And I'm watching the Facebook also. I think there are people watching live on the Facebook also. Great. So once again, warm welcome, Usha. I'm very, very happy to have you here. One is to share your story. Second, that I'm very happy to showcase you. You are one person that motivates me, and I'm very fortunate that I could get you here. So once again, I'm requesting all to stay muted, please, so that there will be no disturbance. So let me do a formal, introduction of Dr. Usha Banerjee. Hello. Friends, can you please mute yourself? Do not force me to mute everyone. Okay. So, Captain Dr. Usha Banerjee, she has studied in armed forces, and after that she has come out, and she had been working with different hospitals, starting with Manipal, Max, Apollo. She has spent time and lots of awards and recognitions. Along with that, she has done her master's in hospital administration. And today we are going to talk to her about the journey that she had taken getting her PhD after all these years. So when I was going through all the awards, if I start reading, it is going to take at least 10-15 minutes of just very brief thing that I am supposed to be reading, like President's Award, Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Award, Field Marshal Karyappa Award, Gaurav Pathak from Mayor of Pune, Rotary Awards, and there are publications, and she is also currently nominee to Indian Nursing Council for Development of Nursing Services, and she is invited. Now you must have seen her in the last 1 year. I can say that she has become the face of nursing for the media. NDTV, Times Now, look at any media, you would see, Dr. Usha Banerjee there. So, well, I don't think that I need to say anything more. But, Usha, today we are here with a purpose. So, with all the success that you have had all through years, I am still wondering that why did you think of doing PhD? How did that thought process come to your mind that if anyone looks at you from outside, they'll say, oh, she has everything aligned for her, and on top of that, you're the group nursing director for Apollo Hospital. I mean, enough and more of work to do there, no doubt about it. With all that, you decided to do PhD. So very interesting to know that why did you decide to do that?
Hi, Tangam. Once again, I think I wish everybody a happy Diwali, color, lights, festivity, joy, happiness, and on a Saturday evening, gathering here to listen to my story. Tangam, I think there was a little brief stint in education also before I got into hospital administration. I'll come to that. You asked me why PhD. First of all, I think I'll have to set a little context before I get directly into talking about my PhD. I have been fortunate enough to inherit a good bloodline where generations have placed emphasis on education. So I come from a family background of army people. My parents worked in the defense. I've seen them go up for courses. And then I got married into a family, which is my father-in-law was a scientist in the armament research as the assistant director there. Fired the best arms, and my brother-in-law was a scientist. And I've seen them study, and do so much more. Nevertheless, I think you also noticed that I do a lot of studies myself. But why PhD? While probably as I'm getting close to my retirement, I feel that a title or prefix can definitely uplift our profession, which I suggest to every single person sitting and listening to me to do whatever best you can to continue to learn and have additional degrees. When you have additional degrees, it kind of gets you to think laterally. It commands a lot of respect. And I think being an advocate for nursing, this is going to take my journey further and very meteorically.
Great. Thanks, Usha, for that story. I did not know about your so heavy army background. I knew a little bit that yes, your husband is from army, and now it looks like your side and also your in-law side all are from army. That's a little regret that I will always have. I wanted to go into military nursing, and then unfortunately my mother went on a strike, and she said, I'm going to commit suicide, though my father was from the army, unfortunately. So I always envy people who are in the uniform. But salute to all the people who are continuing to serve our country. And we are very lucky that a lot of nursing leaders have come out of army. If you look around, you'll find a lot of ex-army nursing leaders shining in the corporate world also. So, my friends, we have 186 people. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, Usha, I would like you to reflect upon what were your challenges, because you set the context right that you should go ahead and you should do PhD. But I'm very sure it was not a smooth journey. I'm sure that you had your own challenges. So, what were the challenges, and how did you overcome them?
Well, Tangam, I don't think it was easy for me. It was very, very difficult. I would be lying if I told you that this was an easy journey. I'm candid about it. It was back to basics, learning a lot. And all of you know that I have a very, very busy job. And I put in long hours of work and spend a lot of time at the shop floor and travel a lot in my job. But I was determined. I was very, very determined. And there were times when I gave up, and there were wonderful people. When I present my slide, I'll tell you that there were many people who backed me up. There's a lot of inspiration around you to keep continuing. And I think that's the way to take it. I spent hours trying to do literature reading, and I'm as such a nocturnal creature. My team, if they're listening to me here today, some of them have joined in, they know that I'm famous for putting in a lot of messages in the wee hours of the night. Probably I have insomnia and I need to get treated. But that's the best time for yourself. There's so much that you can do. So honestly, it's been very tough, especially learning statistics, learning how to use your software, doing a lot of reading, trying to hypothesize what you want to present. It's not easy. And I think it's not easy, but yes, if you get into it, you will do it.
Okay. So, what will you advise to those nurses who are sitting here who might be thinking I should do, but they have not yet, decided upon doing it? So, what will be your, one or three, top advices to them, that how to persist on this not so easy path of getting, your doctorate?
Yeah. I personally feel that if I can do it at this age, I'm almost close to retirement. And with such a busy job, everyone can do it. That's the first thing. Second is today's generation is far more lucky than what we were probably when we were younger. because today there is reach, there's access, there's information, there's support. So everybody should aspire to do whatever best they can. But a PhD definitely in a subject is going to help you become great leaders. So go for it right away. Third, I think there are many, many people whom you can approach when you have any stumbling blocks or you have roadblocks. There are so many people waiting to help you. So this is the era, and encash on it.
Great. Thank you. So before I invite you to share your thesis, I mean, that's a very interesting topic that you have chosen, that is really clinical governance, and that's going to be of great interest to many leaders who have logged in here today. Before I request you to share your screen, I would ask that how did your life change after PhD? Did it change or is the
Honestly,
same?
honestly, no. Honestly, no. I'm just the same person. I do the same things. Um, I don't think too many of them either call me doctor because they generally prefer to call me captain. So that continues. And I'm just Usha Banerjee. So definitely not. But yes, maybe when I sat in this meetings which are run at a different stream, I noticed that everybody had a doctorate to their names. So my doctor title might bring in a lot of pride that I represent nursing as an advocate in that forum. So, except for that, and that's really not gotten to me. Maybe it's too soon. Maybe I'm too old to feel that, or maybe the way I am. Honestly, it's not made a big difference, and I think Tangam, you would say that because you've seen me through this. And I've taken 5 years to complete my PhD. I started in 2016 and I came through in 20. What happened? Somebody shared the
Excuse
screen.
me, please stop sharing. Who has done sharing there? Hello? Can you
Who's
stop
Rita
it,
Das?
please?
Who's Rita Das? The name written there is Rita Das.
Please
Yeah.
stop sharing.
Rita Das, we can see you also. Yeah.
Please don't play around with your system, please. Just leave it muted and stop your video also. Do not put your video on. Just a second. Just give me 1 second. I'll request once again everyone just to be disciplined. It's very nice that all of you have logged in for Usha, and please keep up the respect and keep your video and audio muted. Okay, so you are actually breaking the flow of the discussions that we are having. Apologies, Usha, please come back on the
Yeah,
okay.
I just said that honestly, nothing much has changed for me, neither at work nor in person. But yes, there are moments of great pride, and I would want that to be leveraged for the profession rather than as an individual for me. For all those who know me, I think I'm just the same.
I totally subscribe to that. And when you say that at this level, at certain forums, that title is, going to make a difference, and probably not to your friends and your colleagues and maybe your team also. They also feel proud to say that, our boss is Dr. Captain Usha Banerjee. So there's a lot of good things lateral which is happening. So now, yes, without much delay, we would really love to hear about your thesis. Share the screen, and I will also go off video and go muted. And I'll keep a watch. If anybody is disturbing too much, please pardon me. I'll remove you from the group. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, just yeah, great. Now that's on slideshow. Thank you.
Okay. Um, Once again, taking you to my topic was an analysis of corporate governance on healthcare safety and quality with special reference to Delhi and NCR hospitals. I'm mindful of the time because Tangam has already told me that I have a huge slide deck, but I want to tell people that I cannot sum up my PhD of 5 years in 30 minutes without really running you through the entire research work that went in. My inspiration, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Pratap Chandra Reddy, all of us know him. He's the architect of the corporate healthcare, a man whom I closely work with. I have the freedom to talk to him, to be with him, and such humility that he will be leaving everlasting impressions in our lives. He has given me the wisdom to lead, the advice to follow, the humility to celebrate my success, the inspiration to aspire for more. And trust me, today I am so successful because Dr. Pratap Reddy has been advocating nursing and my leadership. So my gratitude to Chairman. There are many people I want to bring my attention to on this slide. My teachers and my alma mater, the military nursing service, they lay a great foundation to my career and to my life. Unshakable academic foundation, unmatched clinical acumen, a turf where I could exploit my talents. I grew as a leader right from there. So my teachers, if you're listening to me, my gratitude to you. Ms. Sridevi Balachandran, she's sitting here, right here with her camera on, and I'm so inspired by that. I was in teaching just after I came out of the armed forces, and I knew I was doing pretty well, but I was working in a very small place and I didn't know much about the civil world. When I met this wonderful lady who was a roaring tigress in Manipal hospitals at that time, someone who spoke so clear, loud, transparent, she said, why don't you get into the corporate world? I said, I don't know anything about the corporate world, and I have not worked in different capacities. If you notice, I was in the clinical setup and then quickly moved into teaching and then into this. So I had no multiple layers to my work. I don't know, somehow she gave me confidence, courage, support, and probably wings to fly. And that's where my career took off. So Ms. Sridevi, you're listening to me. Thanks, ma'am, for being there. Dr. Bimla Kapoor, she's always encouraged me. Where is your title? You are a doctor. She keeps talking this. How far have you reached? Where do you think I can support? So ma'am Bimla Kapoor. Dr. Sneha, she was the first in our group to complete our PhD. And during this tenure, I had so many JCIs to complete, so much of work to do. There was a point when I had an eye surgery and I told Sneha, I'm not going to do this, Sneha. She said, you have to. And I was so proud when she was the first one to complete in our entire group. And that itself was an inspiration. Somebody's mic is on. Could you just switch off, please? Major General Elizabeth John, ma'am, she gave me opportunities to go back into the armed forces on many occasions and bring in a lot of pride for MNS. So thank you, ma'am, for that. The team that I work with, my office team, all those nurse leaders who walked ahead in this path, it brings in a lot of pride for the nursing profession. And finally, Pushpendra, my immediate member in my team, who walked with me at every single step, every time traveled to the university. And finally, my family, who's the wind beneath my wings. It all started here, the selection of my topic called corporate governance. If you look at this, I was nominated by Sangeeta Reddy ma'am, our joint managing director, to be a part of a very, very affluent group that visited the C-suites of many, many corporates, GE, Infosys, HCL, Ashok Leyland, Flipkart. And I knew how good governance brings in business results, engagement with employees, etc. And it ended with my meeting up with the president, late Shri Pranab Mukherjee. This is the Rashtrapati Bhavan. You can see me standing there. It's a great moment of pride for any citizen. And of course, for me being there as a nurse. So this is where I felt if I got this opportunity, it must cascade and translate into good governance wherever I work and wherever I go. So that's where it all started. Just to give you an introduction, I think we all know that today healthcare is standing at an inflection point. There are socioeconomic reforms happening, there are technological reforms happening, and there's so much happening in the healthcare sector. And especially now with COVID, reforms are just around the corner. We know that health and well-being finds an important place even in the United Nations, one of the 8 advancement objectives. There's a lot of research that healthcare issues are prevalent in the developing and poor nations, and all of us are witness how unorganized our healthcare sector is, starting from the rural areas to the top corporates or the quaternary care hospitals. We also know that the GDP spend on healthcare is far lower than what it deserves attention. So on that background, we also notice that most of the healthcare organizations in the country follow bare minimum compliance. Basically, it is led by regulatory framework or by an accreditation standard, whether it is NABH, NABL, ISO, FSI, JCI, etc. So this has paved way for good governance in the healthcare sector. And this is going to be one of the enablers for us to find further investment opportunities into this sector in the country. So why this study? That was an introduction. There are very few pioneering quality and patient safety initiatives, that too in very few particular specialties or very few organizations, but nothing systematic or nationwide. Today is a landmark day. It started with the Empower Hour of Annie, went into Kaho, and now here I conclude the day by talking about patient safety, governance, quality, etc. It is assumed that quality is inherent within the hospitals. Many studies show that quality is an after effect of an incident, and the safety reporting framework does not exist where the board is informed of the various adverse events that happen within the healthcare setup. Quality data needs to be reported in a way that enables boards to identify those variations, take necessary steps, and address some of the unacceptable variations and give strategic direction. So they have the ultimate responsibility and a fundamental role in governance. I know this sounds big, but it is very important for every single person to understand governance framework if they aspire to become leaders and take up leadership roles. So no major study I could find in context to Indian hospitals. Kindly request you to switch your mic. It's very distracting, please. Whether it is on accountability, disclosures, transparency, the whole regulatory framework, the ethical framework, the clinical governance model, the audits on self in terms of investments, various committees like shareholder grievance committee, etc., etc. So these, I didn't find too many studies in terms of Indian context. So let me just quickly run you through what is corporate governance. It is strategic vision. It is about board practices. It's about independent directors, management accountability, shareholder activism, corporate social responsibility, corporate citizenship, review management, oversight, focus on diversity, risk mitigation, transparency. I know these are big terms, but these are terms which we speak every single day sitting in the leadership role. And I sit in the executive committee of Apollo. And for me, it is important to understand all this. Patient safety, all of us have heard a lot today about this, but I think it is a continuous journey. There's so much more we should do, we can do, and we have to do, whether it is leadership, accountability, or creating the necessary tools, resources, and educating staff towards patient safety. Similarly is the quality journey, which is continuous, which is evolving, which is changing, and which has to be embraced by every single person. Now, you might think all this is happening. It is not. Trust me, I interview staff, I interview nurses, I interview candidates who aspire to come to our hospitals. The basics are missing, and that's the reality. Literature review showed that there are failure of boards and senior management in overseeing and responding to issues about quality and safety. Largely, their focus is on financials. And there is a varied engagement, small to generally insignificant. Workforce has a record of being disinterested, skeptical, or even hostile. You notice this when we have an accreditation survey coming and there's a process being put into place. There are many people who are hostile in the environment. Why this? Maximum outreach and inclusion of as many diverse perspectives, because we are a multi-stakeholder representation, and that's missing in the governance models. And discussions on governance framework, key success indicators, tools for implementation, etc., is not discussed across the length and breadth of this of any company. And the overarching belief that good governance will lead to better outcomes towards patient and safety and serve the society at large. So keeping that as the literature background, the problem is, the statement of the problem in this research is, effect of organizational governance on patient safety and quality has received very little attention. Vast majority of research into patient safety has focused on clinical aspects. So there might be good clinical governance models, but there are very few corporate governance models, and corporate governance is not for corporate hospitals. It is for every single organization. And there is no universal definition or approach to governance within healthcare. Tangam, I'm not able to move the slides. Hello?
Yeah, go to the left-hand side corner. There will be an arrow going back and forth, so you can click on the arrow. Left-hand side, yeah. It's moving now.
Okay, it's moving now. I think it's the network. So the objectives were to assess the knowledge and perception of the respondents on corporate governance, patient safety, and quality before and after intervention, to assess the perception of respondents on corporate governance towards patient safety and quality in the selected hospitals, to assess the association between the perception scores, to share information to the respondents on corporate governance, because if you find that there is lack of knowledge, how do we share that? To assess the perception of direct caregivers versus non-caregivers on corporate governance and its impact on patient safety and quality, to examine various strategies to improve quality and upgrade safety, and to implement learnings within the healthcare settings. So like any other research, there were multiple hypotheses that were formulated. The hypothesis is that there would be a 20% increase in the knowledge and perception scores of the respondents towards the role of governance post-intervention, and there'll be a significant association between the perception scores. There will be a significant difference in the perception of direct caregivers towards patient safety and quality versus non-caregivers. There were multiple assumptions that were formulated, that the respondents will have basic knowledge and perception. They will be having knowledge and perception about their role in patient safety. They'll be willing to express their responses. The information booklet is going to enhance their perception on corporate governance and patient safety and quality. So various methodologies were used. There was quantitative and qualitative research, and it was a mixed method research design, comprising comparative design, which seemed to be the most appropriate for the study. The sampling technique was purposive sampling. Convenience sampling was also used, and stratified random sampling was used to select the respondents. The study setting and population was at Delhi and NCR hospitals. There were 6 hospitals in the study, and this was based on the assumption that we would have sufficient samples. There is familiarity with the setting, a feasibility of conducting the study, familiarity with the language, administrative approvals, economy of time, and easy accessibility. The various variables were computed, attribute variables on independent and dependent, which is a part of every research design. There was a criteria for selecting the subjects, basically those who are currently working in area which is related to patient care, staff who have more than 1 year of experience, staff willing to participate in the study, and who are available during the data collection, and there is a language that they could understand and perceive. The final study consisted of 688 respondents. The various tools used were structured questionnaire, interview schedules, and an opinion rate. And the reliability of the tool was tested and found reliable. So this was 688 respondents from 6 hospitals. And this is a breakdown of the samples there. The gender, these were the demographic results of the participants. Females were 506, making it 73.55%. Males, and then there was also one transgender in the respondents. Age maximum were from the age group of 30 to 40, and the least respondents were from the 51 plus years. Education level, 463 of them were degree holders, 95 of them were postgraduates. There was also some amount of Ph.D. and MPhil people, and only one had a 10th class there. Years of experience, large population was belonging to the 6 to 10 years, and it's very clear on the slide here. Years of experience in the hospital surveyed. In that particular hospital, majority of them had 1 to 5 years of working in that particular hospital, and some had up to 21 years. Current role, 408 were nurses, 135 were doctors, 22 were hospital administration staff. Rest of the respondents belong to patient care areas in some way or the other. The income ranged between 31,000 to 40,000 for most of the participants. And respondents had direct interaction with patient care. 674 of them responded that yes. And 2.03% said no, but they were responsible to coordinate the patient care. So now let's come to what we found in terms of our perception and knowledge. Knowledge and perception of the respondents on corporate governance, patient safety, and quality before sharing the information booklet. 605 respondents said they were not aware of corporate governance for patient safety, quality. However, were aware of some patient safety initiatives, and 12% had mixed responses. Knowledge and perception of the respondents after sharing the information booklet, 10.46% were able to respond positively. 402 respondents were able to respond positively towards patient safety, and 31% had mixed responses. So I did accept my hypothesis 1 here because there was a significant shift in the knowledge and perception, which is more than 20%. Perception and respondents on corporate governance towards patient safety, this manager expectations and actions. 54% responded that managers and supervisors need the employees to work quicker and even request that they take alternative routes to finish their work. 62% responded that manager neglects patient safety issues and incidences that occur again and again. So I think this is very, very relevant because we were talking to a group of people who were educated, who had a decent amount of income, experience in the organizations that they worked with. 58% responded that managers discourage staff to report incidents. 72% got opportunities to learn. 2 hospitals said more than 80% of them said that there are quality improvement initiatives. 3 hospitals, 52%, and 1 hospital, only 20% respondents acknowledged that there are quality improvement initiatives. Teamwork, I'm glad 73% responded positively. Communication and openness, 42% responded that they cannot talk uninhibitedly about something wrong they see and encounter. 52% responded that they are reluctant to post queries. Staffing, only 30% responded positively that staffing was adequate. 70% said that there is extreme workload and shortages which can cause errors. Hospital management support and governance, 51% responded that management cannot understand issues and struggles at the unit level. 22% responded that incidents do not reach the top management. 48% responded that management does not invest adequate time and effort in improving patient safety and quality. It's not done on a daily basis. Only minimal standards are adopted for regulatory compliance. Non-punitive response, 72% said that the environment does not support a non-punitive response to error. Second victim process, only 24% said that they perceive that they will receive emotional support from the organization to handle a stress related to a mistake or error. 66% perceive that mistakes will impact their job. The association between the perception scores of the respondents towards their role in patient safety and quality. 98% of respondents perceive that they have a significant role towards patient safety and quality, irrespective of whether they were direct caregivers or non-caregivers. So this one hypothesis I had to reject and accept the null hypothesis. This was the information booklet which was shared, which had all about corporate governance and patient safety and quality. What were the barriers and difficulties? Drastically changing the framework is not easy. There is a particular culture that is set into the organization. So this limits the impact of many interventions. And hospitals, as I said, do not comply to governance framework. It is rather accreditation. And I think many of them would tell me that if you are a JCI or an NABH hospital, only when the NABH or JCI accreditations come close, everything falls into place. Weak quality controls, poor management of disclosure of strategy, weak infrastructure, weak data collecting, poor quality of clinical education curriculum in itself is an impediment. So various strategies to improve quality and upgrade safety. The governing structure should set direction, achieve its mission, vision, and I think every single nurse will play an important role here. It should incorporate audit mechanisms, self-evaluation of the company to detect, analyze, and prevent undesired outcomes. Hospitals should have a code of conduct which is articulated and laid down and accepted by every employee, not to break the patient safety code. So the hospital's governing structure is very important, where there is clinical risk management, coordinated clinical audits, and a culture that we need to create, leadership and corporate governance. And I think nurses must be pitched into each of these positions, which is critical for our survival. Recommendations: every hospital should have a professional, competent, vigilant, engaged board with people of diverse backgrounds who are experts in their own fields. And there should be a collaborative effort. Measurement of quality and patient safety should be a daily affair, ongoing process. Knowledge should be disseminated to every single individual. Every individual should participate in creating a quality and patient safety culture. The plan is to implement the learnings in the clinical domain. So embed patient safety and quality initiatives and benchmark practices within my own hospital network, because that's an area where I can experiment, share knowledge on various platforms and advocate for patient safety. In the nursing education domain, reach out to various institutions, to faculty, to students. In the admin domain, position nursing in the governing framework, advocate leadership programs, and in the research, help nurses conduct research, publish the same, network, and connect to larger forums where these learnings can come to the hands of every single person. So the conclusion of the study is that the sector demands and is committed to very high standards of safety and ethics, which is the core value, regardless of whatever nationality, political affiliation, race, religion, etc. The framework should be patient-centric. We have not even started involving our patients into our safety journey. Good governance and disclosure practices should help all stakeholders, and enforcement of these guidelines are very, very important. And the 12th year plan for healthcare gives due importance to governance in this sector. So we cannot get away. We know our ambition of National Rural Health Mission, the Ayushman Bharat, making quality and patient safety as the second bottom line in addition to our financial outcomes. So during my research, my learnings that I could incorporate within my network, because I'm in the helm of affairs: inclusion, transparency, accountability, advocacy, and partnership. So just inclusion. This is our entire nursing leadership across the group, addressing the new joinees, talking about patient safety, quality, mission, vision of the enterprise, and taking them along on an inspirational mentorship. This is enabling, engaging, and empowering and evolving. So I really thank all my nursing heads of the Apollo group for making this happen. You notice this is the clinical cabinet. Clinical cabinet is nothing but a group of staff nurses who help us decide our initiatives. They assist us in our safety rounds. They propose evidence-based improvement strategies. They check compliance. And if you notice this round structure that is here, these manuals are signed by the clinical cabinet members. We don't buy anything without their approval. We do not review anything without their approval. So I feel very proud that young nurses are engaged in policy and decision making. Medical team and nursing team partnership, I feel this is a way forward. You look at this, these are our knowledge series, and you notice that one pick, two people talking, senior most consultant and a nurse. So this is yet another journey that we have taken ahead, and this is very, very powerful and engaging. This is the steering committee for our, critical care integration, and you find Ms. Muthura, Ms. Pinaki, along with the top-notch doctors on our website there. Academic council, we have all our nurse educators team up, and they decide what should be standardized, what should be the content, how to have one Apollo. So that's yet another team that's given a lot of support to the education program in-house. We have a digital transformation core committee. We have an artificial intelligence wing. We have digital transformation undertaking, and our nurses are leading this, and we are far ahead of the rest of them, collaborating with the rest of the teams. Nursing students in our hospital committees. So you go to an infection control committee, drug and therapeutic, code blue, you'll find a nursing student also as an advisory visitor. She's allowed to talk, etc. Academic clinical partnership, I think this is our way forward. I've seen this has one of the biggest strengths. Our principal, vice principal, faculty are involved in all aspects of the hospital administration, and we are involved in the school and college aspects. And this is going to get cascaded down to all the Apollos. Right now, it is happening at the Delhi level. Members of the nursing department are invited to attend the annual general meeting of the company to hear about governance, disclosure, interact with board of directors. Young staff nurses sit on those meetings. Nursing representation in the executive committee of the enterprise. I don't think there's any committee in the hospital where there is no nursing leadership present. Nursing representation in every committee of the hospital. Nursing participation in the daily huddle. Our top leadership does a daily huddle, and our nursing representatives present the entire operational, financial, and all other metrics to the leadership. We have an annual operating plan where weightages for nursing is along with the clinical team. Nursing leadership and second line are conducting 360-degree surveys of other departments in all the hospitals across. So you find a Delhi nurse doing it for another hospital, another department. I think that's really powerful. A nursing full circle audit where our charge nurses and above are again getting an opportunity to audit other hospitals, to learn, to interact with their DMS unit heads of other hospitals. So that's yet another thing. Research and publication, every single unit is trying to do some amount of research work, and this is led by our principal Merlin and vice principal Rohini here, and I think amazing learning. Students do research. These are just GNM students, but going up to ethics committee, putting up their research proposal and publishing their articles. That's yet another thing that we are extremely proud of. Six Sigma is embedded into the fabric of the organization. I know many organizations might be doing it, but I feel extremely proud. And next year I would undertake this, that every single nurse does a yellow belt, at least in the key processes. And these are opportunities to present our patient safety and quality framework. And this is Anicon. Tangam is our president. And you see that we do get awards. We have Apollo Innovation and Quality Awards, where it's a mega event, Founders Day, chairman gives away these awards, and many of them are backed by nurses. The Research and Publication Awards come to nurses. There are Leadership Awards, Substantial Contribution Award, Special Awards. So nursing is never left behind. FICCI, HMA, CAHO, HPI, I think everywhere nurses have got patient safety awards. Advocacy, I am right now in the Indian Nursing Council, and I'm fortunate Dr. Bimla Kapoor is our chair in one of the biggest committees, and we are contributing towards reform. I sit on major task force, so wherever I can, I advocate for nurses. And you see, Tangam has already said this, that I get an opportunity to speak on media and radio and other platforms, and I don't miss any single opportunity to advocate for nurses. And today I'm glad everybody says doctors, nurses, and the rest. It didn't come by easily. I think it's been a lot of hard work for many of us, and I'm one of them. Transparency, we have a governing board meeting, and we send in all our performances to the board reviews it. and we are an integral part of the risk register. We can walk up to our chairman. We meet him on many occasions. This enterprise has very senior leadership who can be accessed, and it's an open door policy. We have a transparent performance management system. My performance gets reviewed by my subordinates, and so there is a cross-functional review process. We have an open incident reporting system. Anybody can put in any report and it will be viewed by the top leadership. We have multiple dashboards which we can access through our Lighthouse portals. So it's a very, very transparent organization. Partnership, I sit to partner with MedVarsity, MedSkills, Home Health, Health Jobs, Apollo Clinics, Medical College, projects, knowledge and education. And of course, now slowly we have got a lot of support from Global Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, which Dr. Anupam Sibal is leading for the entire enterprise. So we are present everywhere. We got an opportunity to be the leaders in patient safety, and I think everybody has attended this international patient safety conferences. We have hosted 7 of them, where you have heads of WHO and NABH, KPMG, JCI, all leading Indian providers are partners in that. And I think Apollo has taken that lead to join hands for patient safety. This is yet another initiative which is being rolled out, which is called ANGEL, that is Advanced Nurses Growth, Excellence and Learning. Our GMD has taken this upon herself to upskill 1 lakh nurses across the country through this scholarship program. It's a social initiative. Times ranking, I think all of us feel proud that Apollo figures in the national rankings because of good corporate governance. Apollo Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Bangalore are all featured in the national rankings, and other Apollos feature in the regional rankings only because of governance. So for me, why I lead, the way I lead are important. It defines me, my leadership, and ultimately my contribution. And I'm glad Apollo Hospital has a nurse as the logo, and my aim is to bring the logo to life, to bring that logo alive. And I have that opportunity, and I can do that only if I'm a partner in good governance. Thank you, Tangam.
Thank you so much. It looked like saga to me, and I must say hats off to you. And the findings that you have had in your thesis actually really points out the real story of our healthcare in India. And I'm so happy to see that you have taken real engagement of your nurses through your, cabinet, students, staff nurses, all are, allowed to participate. I think that is the model that anybody should be emulating to ensure that we create empowered nurses tomorrow, because it's very easy to say empower everyone, but then empowerment should come through very structured approach, very interventions which are visible so people can actually join. I think you have lived it, and I really hope that this findings of the study somehow we need to share with more nurse leaders, because it's very important for them to realize that this is the general picture of the nurses, how they feel. And not only nurses, even other employees were involved in your thesis. So generally more than 50% of them, technically they are saying that we are not doing the right thing. They're afraid to speak up, they don't get the support. So I think there is so much to do. I'm very happy that I could create this opportunity, that at least people who are sitting here, they are watching you live, and this is getting recorded, so it will be sitting on our Cygnia YouTube channel for time to come. So anybody can go there, have a look at it, and see that what all interventions were done. And there are many things that someone can read, understand, and put it into your own system. It is very much possible. So thank you so much, Usha. I know you took a little more time but then you managed to go through all the slides. That's really great. I know that you were not even taking a breath while you were going through it. Thank you so much. We still have some time left, and now this time we are going to go a little easy. not going to talk about heavy on governance. So for me, it was almost looking like what you say, it was more like a saga for me. I mean, you're trying to put in all the things that you're doing, and then the study results, and then how have you put in all the pieces so that people can feel that there is a governance, there is a involved governance, and people feel they're part of it. And I could see in the messages, your own team vouching that this is what is happening, having students and and young nurses being part of everything. Great, congratulations, Usha, and I'll pray that may God bless you with good health and many more great work to be done, and many more people learning from you and learning, getting groomed under you. So I really pray for that. So now we are going to take a chill pill, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions that will again showcase you the other side of Usha a little bit. Okay. So let me ask you the book that we are reading.
Sydney Sheldon,
Oh,
Master of the Game.
you're still reading Sydney Sheldon. Okay, great. Oh.
I just love that book. It is all about adventure and ambition and greed and then failure. So that's a book I've read so many times, but currently I'm reading it again. So yeah.
Sydney Sheldon used to be one of my best authors many years ago. I don't know. I graduated non-fiction.
You'll find many books next to my bed.
Yeah, now I don't find fiction. I have a lot of books on philosophy and leadership, etc. So, your favorite pastime?
Well, I have so many hobbies. I don't have much time, but I love
What do you
cooking. I
practice
love
now?
dancing. I dance. I cook, and lately I'm learning Vastu and numerology.
Oh wow, that's my favorite. When you finish, you just call me. I'll come for numerology. Vastu, I don't know, but numerology, I can come to you. But which is the dance form you really love? I mean, I have seen that you know all the Western dance forms, and you have done the Kathak, semi-classical. So, which is the one that you really enjoy doing?
I love waltz.
Ah,
My dance partner is logged in somewhere here. Yeah, I love waltz. I love
okay.
jive and waltz.
Oh, okay, great, great. That's lovely. I can imagine you waltzing away. I can definitely imagine that. Your movements will be very, very graceful. I can that. What is your Manjunathan? Please mute yourself. So your just a second. I'm going to mute everyone. Then Usha will ask you to unmute yourself. 1 second. Let me just mute everyone. You can click unmute. Yes. Now nobody can unmute themselves. What to do? We have to be a disciplinarian sometimes. Yeah. So your memorable movie?
Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith.
Usha?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Usha, are you there?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Pursuit of Happiness. Great. Will Smith, yeah? I keep watching the clips, and I think I've seen that movie many times. I think beautiful movie. Beautiful movie.
I've seen it so many times too. The struggling salesman and the custody of his child, the bond between a father and son. Amazing.
It's a fantastic movie and a great actor, Will Smith. I must admit that.
Jade Smith also.
Yes, I love him. I have seen many of his movies. If you are not a nurse, you will be?
I would be so many things actually. I would probably be wearing an olive green uniform and fighting in the borders.
Sorry, you need to repeat. I think.
Why did the trouble come in after you muted me?
Connectivity is a problem.
No.
No. I can hear you. 1 second. I think the connectivity is a little bit problem. Let me see whether it is mine. Just give me a minute. There are
My
people
network,
now.
my network
second.
looks okay. So if I wasn't doing what I'm doing, I would probably be wearing some olive green uniform and being in the army, probably going around. Can't let that army person go away from me. Or maybe wear a Air Force uniform and fly some fighter pilot's role, or probably sink in a submarine. We didn't have that many opportunities then. Nothing but be an army person. And
Wow.
I'm so proud I'm married to one. He's still serving. He's an Air Force guy. So yeah.
Great.
And family is
Salute,
full of them
salute.
actually. Family is full of
Okay.
yeah.
Your regret?
I have no regrets. I am actually very fortunate, very, very blessed. I have no regrets. Trust me, I don't think anybody can have a better life than I have. I've met lovely people. Somebody or the other has come around me. I've had challenges. I've had difficulties. I wouldn't have left the army otherwise. When I was just a principal, I met Miss Sri Devi. She's there listening to me. If she had not told me that get into this corporate thing and you will do well, I don't know. She had that belief. Mr. Basil, my teachers. I don't know. I don't. It's just for me. Life just happens. It's like destiny just comes and takes me along. So I have no regrets. I
Wow.
have the best life ever.
I think that attitude itself is a big blessing. You know, looking at life positive and not being regretful about anything, I think that's a big success. I'm very sure not a single human being can ever reach anywhere without having had their own share of tough times and challenges. But at the end of it, when you say that I don't have any regrets, I think that's a very big blessing. Okay. So now on the note, I also know that you write poems. Would you care to share something that comes to your mind or make something extrembo? Even Hindi will do.
This is my favorite. It's not a poem, it's a shairi. I just say, and I think it's apt for what we are talking, though you just caught me like that. And I say this, and we all say this. We say this a lot of time. I said, this is my favorite. मंजिल उनको मिलती है जिनके सपनों में जान होती है पंख होने से कुछ नहीं होता हौसलों से उड़ान होती है
Shadir, Shadir, Shadir. That's a beautiful thing. And thank you so much, Usha. I think we know you a little bit more. And if I may ask you, what is that one thing that you would still love to do?
I
Given the
would
current situation, not a dream. I mean, it's something that you really would like to do. Yeah.
want to elevate the status of nurses. I really want nurses not to go away from India. I want them to be in India, contribute to the larger good of this country. There's so much good here, so much we can do. Things will change. I know I'm very optimistic. Only if good people stay back will this country start recognizing. And I want this to be done in a great hurry because many of us will retire soon. Tangam, you have taken an unbeaten path. You're an entrepreneur. You have the courage. I don't have that risk appetite. So maybe I'll retire. I might do something around. But we need young people to hold this profession. So I passionately urge everyone, don't wait for a Masiha to liberate you. It is we. And trust me, this 1.5 decades, Tangam, we've seen great changes in the country. It's only people who will have to come back to India to see what we are doing. It's amazing. And nobody liberated us. It is just that a bunch of courageous people took it on themselves. And it's just opened up a whole universe. So for me, I want to calibrate my speed. I want to accelerate my pace. And I want to do as much more as I can. And I've said this must be my 6th or 7th time I'm saying, Ms. Sridevi, if you had not given me that opportunity to come to Manipal, I always thought I would be a teacher, a good principal. She said, no. She said that. So you kind of gave me that wind beneath my wings. And I'm really glad you sat through these PhD uh, courses. I mean, everybody, she's attended last time, she's attended the time before. So thanks, Tangam, for this presence. I have a lot to thank you for. Thanks to Ms. Sridevi, I wouldn't have probably been who I am today. Thanks to so many of them, my team, every single person. My life is full of gratitude for a lot of people. I can't take everybody's name, but I have a,
Thank
I
you.
wouldn't forget Miss Daphne when I'm speaking here. She gave me a beautiful, she was my soulmate, Colonel Daphne. She's 20 years senior to me. I call her Daphne.
Okay, okay.
Amazing people in my life. So Tangam, I think the journey continues.
Yes, definitely. I think so much have been told about Sridevi. I would really request Sridevi to come on the video and say a few words because we can't let you go just like that. Usha had taken your name so many times, and I have seen you come here in this forum. So may I request Ms. Sridevi to come on the video? Are you there or have you left?
She's on, you're mute, you're mute. Miss Sridevi is mute. You had muted everybody.
Oh, okay. I have to find her and unmute her. 1 second. Just give me a minute. Thanks for telling Dash. Okay.
No, she's still
Sridevi, you
mute.
can unmute
Yeah,
yourself.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Miss Tangam. And I don't know. I really thank Usha for Usha is Usha for me. Like she says, I just take the liberty. And I think she had everything in her. So she is thanking me. And I think it's the same. It's for any leader or any administrator, the same. Like, for example, when I became director nursing in Manipal, I was just 36, probably the youngest to take over a big group of hospitals. And I have to thank Dr. Nesa Joseph. Dr. Nesa Joseph was was a PhD in administration from US. And this gentleman, he's a PhD and he's an administrator. I worked with him when I was 25 in Hinduja Hospital. He was a director administration. And 10 years or 11 years later, he found me from from Bombay, and gave me this opportunity. And I think it is a great, it's my personal belief, and I have worked on this for a long time. Like, if we let others grow, we become they reflect on you. This has worked. This principle has worked beautifully for me. I have never had this fear that if I let other people grow, let it be anybody, even staff nurses, that they will take over me or they will utilize or take advantage of me. It's like the sun. So if you are, it'll glow. Actually, you will develop a halo behind you, because everyone that you helped or you pushed, or like, see, Usha is just being extremely grateful. But I also should tell you that I have so many staff nurses of mine. If you check my Facebook, you will find all of them, I let them grow, who still today get back to me and have that regard. So I believe that if we took care of nurses and if we gave people the opportunity, we will develop our halo, which will shine through. Like, probably now, since I'm outside, very few people know me, but on this forum, thanks to Usha and thanks to you, Tangam, that many people realize. And I wish also to say this, that we just have to take that attitude of stop our crab mentality. I hope you know the crab mentality, that crabs are the people. Crabs never, even if they're live in a basket, they never get out of the basket, because each one will pull the other one down. Stop this, because there's nothing to worry. There's so much opportunity. Like she says, today in nursing, I think we just have to say NURSE, and the world is just yours. Even on the top leadership, there's so much position, so much space available. If I come back, I'm telling you, I'm sure I will have at least 5 people who will contact me, 5 group of hospitals who will say, Sridevi, do you want a job? Because I'm not. So we need to just be confident of ourselves, not worry about anybody, and just let the little ones grow. Let them just grow, because when they grow, they develop confidence, they will develop their wings, they will be grateful and gratitude. I mean, not because we want the gratitude or the gratefulness, but we have given the other person an opportunity. And in nursing, this is something that will take us beyond everything. So I don't deserve everything that Usha said, but I would say that she's been grateful, but Usha had the inbuilt capacity in her. The only thing that I needed to do was to just tell her, come on, you can do it. She was in Manipal only for 1 year. Then I remember her conversation with her. She said, ma'am, in Max, they are calling me in Delhi. What do you think of this opportunity, blah, blah. And there was a little more money, but I knew the corporate world by that time. I had already a lot of experience in corporate world. If you move ahead and push boundaries, only then you can move. So from Max, then she was on to Apollo, and there was that journey continued, and today you see her as one of the biggest leaders in nursing in India, leading. And I'm glad that because of the army background, she still kept up all the values and things like that. So though I don't think I deserve all the credit, but probably it was nimittam. In Sanskrit, we say nimittam, or that right thing that she was working in a college called Sridevi College of Nursing. It was a small college somewhere there. She happened to come pass by. I can't remember how. And we had a conversation, and I knew she had an army background. So this is all nimittam, and thank you, Tangam. So I just think we all need to be open-minded as women, as nurses, develop our confidence level of education. And now today, can you believe Usha is pushing me and saying, ma'am, you can do your PhD. She did tell me, because I was having a conversation with her. At this age, I am thinking 50-50. It is not beneficial for me to do a PhD. I don't gain anything possibly. And if I didn't do, I don't lose anything, because I'm at that level. But she's telling me, and ma'am, you can do it. And in fact, we had a conversation on this. So the world is round, and we all keep supporting each other and trust each other. Thank you so much, Tangam, for this few minutes. If you give me time, I do take it. Sorry. Thanks a lot.
No, I know that. Thank you, Sridevi. And I must admire you. Recently, I don't go into Facebook much. The last time when I went, ma'am was doing dola re dola re dola re do. So why I'm sharing this is that if you look around people who are passionate, they're passionate all round, not just about being a nursing leader, academics. They're generally passionate. And I really loved, and I was thinking, wow, she's taking classes, and then she had put that little video there, and so nicely she was doing. And I am a great fan of, singing, nursing, dancing and everything, so we kind of share the same thing. So I think all said and done, the request to all the leaders, let's not become banyan trees. Nothing grows under the banyan trees, right? We should not become. So, Ma'am Devi told about crab mentality. So, I think all this that Cygnia conversation is being done is to promote tomorrow's nursing. The nursing tomorrow, the nurses tomorrow should shine so much, because what we are lacking is that the excellence is not a norm today. They are only here and there, a little bit here and there. The day it becomes a norm that nurses majority are, shining and they're excellent, then I think we don't have to go anywhere. So with that note, I would say thank you so much. And just to, compliment Usha's shairi, I'm going to share the initial slideshow that I have put with all the good, motivational thing. I'll play that before we say bye and good night to each and everyone. Usha, thank you so much. That had been a great, conversation. And thanks to each and everyone sitting here. And I hope that each one of you are motivated in your own way. And when you do your PhD and you are in the services, I will call you to my Cygnia conversations. Academics, I am not calling it because, okay, that's their, right to do their PhD. But services, when they do, I think they have really pushed the envelope. So I would like to bring the people who push the envelope. So thank you so much.
Tangam, I hope we get an opportunity to host you and talk about your passion. You've so much of it. and being an entrepreneur, being a CEO of a company.
Thank you. I mean, I chose this path to do things the way that I like to do things without asking anyone, and I think I'm enjoying. So I think I'm also a very, very grateful soul like you. So I'm very peaceful. Challenges are always there. So thank you once again, Usha. Good night and have a very good weekend to all of you, and a very, very happy Diwali to each and everyone. And before we leave,
I just want to end thanking every member in my team across Apollo for all the support and love they give me. Thank you. Happy Diwali.
Yes. So thank you everyone, and take care. Good night. Shabak khair. Look after yourself, and thank you for being with us. Thank you, Usha, once again. Take
Thank you,
care.
Tangam.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.